What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, Freddie Fox, America's Big Brother, and we back with the Saturday Night Sit Down. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, Freddie Fox, America's Big Brother, and tonight we got NFL safety Donald Rutledge Jr., aka D-Rutt. What's going on, my man?
What's good?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me tonight, man. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Yeah, so I seen your conversation you had with my boy Rome on his podcast, What It Is, and I was really intrigued by your story of this going on, so I had to get you on here. Now, as I try to break it down to everybody here, so the whole purpose of my show, right, is, we know a lot of in our community, we've seen a lot of, kids grow up without their fathers, and the importance of what a male role model has on their life, and the good and the bad that they can go when they have somebody positive. And we lack that a lot in our community. So by sitting down with gentlemen like yourself who are successful out there living their dream, really being a positive influence and showing that there is a different way, I'd love to sit down with you guys and have a conversation and kind of shed some light on that to help the next generation coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So
oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying I'm big on giving back to the youth, speaking to the next generation, just kind of lending that helping hand.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. So I appreciate that. So when I sit down with everybody, right, my very first question to all the guys here, right, if you think about it for a moment, right, what do you think for you are some of the main characteristics or key qualities it takes to be a good person or a good man?
I feel like everybody kind of got to come into their own. You know what I'm saying? You got to I try to model myself after positive influences that I've encountered in my life. I mean, my sisters, maybe some positive influences from my mother. Just guys. I mean, it could be coaches. It could be like, I mean, just anybody. You want to be real vigilant, I say, and just kind of take the good and the bad that you see around you, and just and see, okay, I want to take this step in my life. I want to go this way. Oh, I see he's doing that. Let me kind of follow him. Just real be real vigilant and understand what he's doing and how he got to where he is. So that's what I'm gonna put into my game. That's what, if he's hardworking, I'm gonna be hardworking. Or if he's doing this in the classroom, I'm gonna do the same. So I think it was more so me just keep my mouth shut and just kind of seeing what's going on. So that's why I just say just find a role model, find somebody, even if they don't necessarily take you under their wing. If they're in a position where you want to be in life, I say just kind of mold yourself after that.
Yeah, and I think that's very key, like you said, being vigilant and aware and understanding what's going on and really picking up.
Yeah.
I like my dad, and I said this quite a lot, man. It's not till, as I got older where we really started having these conversations and kind of getting into these deep things. But growing up, mostly, I just had to watch and see the things that he was doing and kind of figure it out on my own.
Right.
I've learned like little things, how he treats my mom and how he, takes care of her, like every morning, ever since like growing up, I always remember he'd be the first one waking up, going to turn on her car, she'd have her little cup of coffee on the railing when she comes out the bathroom, so her coffee's right there. And just making sure that he has set her up for success every single day.
Right.
And even when they had like an argument or things that wasn't going on the night before, the next morning it's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. He's making sure that. So that's kind of something that really stuck with me. And again, it was by watching him. It wasn't in the conversation that we had. It was just seeing what he was doing and kind of trying, like you said, mold myself after that.
And that's what I'm saying for every young man out there. Some of them who don't have that role model, who doesn't have a father figure in the house or something. It's just, you can grab and you can get positive, traits, and you can pick up traits from. I mean, I picked up traits from my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I picked up traits from my auntie. I picked up traits from coaching staffs. You know what I'm saying? You can see the good and the bad in everyone, and just kind of weed it out and mold yourself. At a young age, I kind of knew what I wanted to be as a man. Not necessarily as my profession. I didn't, all that it can't be controlled, but I know as a man, I want to be hardworking. I want to be clean. I want to be, on point. I want to, take care of what I can take care of, so I always say everything correlate. You got to take care of what you can take care of. So, I mean, I knew as a man, that's just what I wanted for myself, and everything else would come, later on, everything else will come, with hard work. So Um, so that's why I'm just telling, just anybody, because a lot of guys, a lot of young guys I talk to are like on my mentor, they don't have father figures or something. They may
Right.
not come from that. Or they don't have. So I'm telling you, it's not a bad thing to get around some women. It's not a bad thing to to model yourself after a coach, or a big brother, just anybody you see doing certain things that you know that you feel like that's what you want to grow into. You can take those things. I mean, I grew up around women, and I mean, I feel like I'm as masculine as can come, but I took a lot of traits from what they may do or what I see them do as I was coming up, uh, and yeah, that's kind of what helped me be who I am.
Yeah, and I totally can relate to you on that. When I grew up majority around women, yeah, like my dad was like, I always say that I was very blessed to have my dad in the house. Again, but we didn't have like a lot of those heart to hearts or those deep conversations. The majority was my mom, my sisters. I had 3 or 4 cousins
Right,
that was living out, all female, and all those things, and kind of seeing, again, what they kind of wanted from a man and the things that they were looking for, how they were treated, and all those things to kind of help
right,
me identify, like you said, like who I wanted to be and the type of man that I wanted to be when I was growing up and how I wanted to treat women and all those things by seeing that influence around me.
right.
And as we say, growing up having good traits is a good thing. It's also important to have very strong morals that we abide
Mhm.
by and hold near and dear to our hearts. So for you, what do you think are some of your key morals that you live by on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, I'll probably say just treat people nice, just treat people kind. Just putting that positive energy out, because it'll just come back. I don't like keeping negativity around me. Uh, I'm not gonna be negative. I'm not gonna have a bunch of negative people around me. I like go getters. I
Hmm.
like people you know, who gonna come with a problem and gonna sit down and figure out what the solution is. I'm not gonna sit there and nag about the problem or what's this.
Right.
All
Right.
right, this is the problem. What we gonna do to figure it out? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my biggest thing. Just try to spread like that positivity, keep that positive energy around you, because things happen, doors open just for you saying hello, having a smile on your face, meeting different people. Um, it just opened new doors for you, man. I mean, I done sat in rooms with some people. I might have met them first time meeting them, and just me being positive, them having positive vibes. We done connect on business levels, and it's just things like that. So that's probably my biggest thing in there. Like I always telling young guys, man, just everything correlate. Everything correlate from. I live by that. From like waking up in the morning, making my bed. You know what I'm saying? Getting a haircut every week, washing my car every other week, something like that. It's like all the finite details, all the little things add up to the big things. So when you take care of business, when you take care of your small things and small business, so you always on point, got a consistent schedule, taking care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It flows into the big things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I can see how somebody live, and I could tell, okay, yeah, he's not somebody that gonna take care of the business when it need to be taken care of, because you can't turn it on and off. I done tried to. Oh, I do this big, so I'll make sure I do that. But then all the little things, I'm slipping. You can't turn on and off. You got to just build a habit of always taking care of your business to where it's just like it becomes you. It's one of your traits. So I try to instill that in myself and just anybody I speak with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think, 2 things that you said there. Like before, one thing that you said, like not living with any negativity and stuff, and that's something that I preach for myself, and I strongly believe in. Right, one of my models I always say is right. Every moment of that you spend in a negative feeling, upset, angry, pissed off, whatever, is a moment of happiness you're never gonna get back. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that's how I try to live it. Just try to, have more positive times and more joyful times in my life than the negative, because I don't want to look back at my life and just seeing all those pitfalls or all that negative energy that I was holding on to for no reason.
Yeah, I say this. I say this about that. I say this because I mean, you can't control. Life is life, man. You can't control. All you can do is
Right.
control what you control. So just that's always in my control what you control, because I'm always expecting the negative. I'm always expecting something to go wrong. So when when I never get too high, I never get too low, but I'm always expecting something to go wrong. So what I tell people, you just keep a level head. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Just keep a level head. Just keep a level head. You know what I'm saying? And when something go wrong, expect things to go wrong, because when it does go wrong, if you got a level head and you expect it, you already 3 steps ahead. So a
Yeah.
lot of times, if something go wrong in my life or something went left that I can't control, you can't control it. So why cry about it? I'm already 3 steps ahead. I already thought it out. So now I'm just gonna make the next step. Or I'm a find a solution that I kind of already thought about. I was already, what I'm saying, planning for it. so I can get things back on track instead of a lot of people wallow in it, start
Yeah.
feeling sorry for themselves, crying. Is you can't control that. So don't get upset, but you know, handle the situation because sometimes like if you already thought it out and you plan for the failure, you know what I'm saying? I know it sounds crazy, like why plan to fail, but if you plan for things to go left, as soon as it go left, you can correct it. But if you don't plan for it, or if you let it beat you down too much when it does go left, I mean, you might miss your window of opportunity to correct certain things. And I'm only speaking on that because that happened to me multiple times. There's many stories I could tell where something went left, and if I probably would have cried about it for a week, I couldn't have got it back on track because I only had a week to get it right back on track. So,
Right.
it's things like that. So, I mean, you just got to control the controllable. Just control the controllable.
Yeah, and I know what you mean too. I get teased a lot too. My family just joking around because I'm the type of person too. I think about when something new is gonna happen or I'm facing a different situation. I'm always the one to think worst case scenario this could happen or worst case scenario this goes down and I always do that because like you said if I kind of already plan for the worst case scenario, I'm not stuck like a
Yeah.
deer in headlights. You know what I mean? Like you
Right, right.
frozen, you don't make a move and you just sitting there like look dumbfounded. And I don't want to be in that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be caught in that position. So I kind of always
Mm-hmm.
try to prep ahead and kind of because again, hey, you know what? If it don't go left, great. You just had a great time and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean, or
yeah.
whatever when it's planned. But if it does, at least you kind of have some sort of action plan in place so that you're not stuck. So I
Right,
totally,
right.
totally agree with you there. And also, like you were saying too, is I think what you, as far as like the traits and characteristics and the morals you're talking about, consistency, man. Consistency is key in anything and everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, like with my show, man, I take it, a huge thing on that one because it's one of those things where I sat down to myself and I was like, when I started this, every week I got to sit down with somebody. I got to put out something, some kind of content, a couple, you know what I mean? Like I got 7 days in a week. I could always do something one day, at least to get something out there. And by doing that and setting that expectation for myself, I see the growth that I've done in just a year, which
Right.
is incredible because again, like we said that too, just remaining consistent, staying on the path, staying the course, then of course there have been bumps along the way and things that may have, that could have deterred me or set me off my track. But I said, you know what, I made a commitment to myself. I got to be consistent. You know what I mean? Next week is a new week and going out there. And I think that's something that we need to reinstill into the younger generation, as you're saying, because there's so much instant gratification now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's so much instant gratification in this world so that people don't understand or like the youth has forgotten what it is to be patient, what it is to really work for something, what it is to, go out there and grind and really make something happen.
Man, look, I'm so far ahead with my moves and with my thinking and my planning. I thought every move out. Like I'm 3 years ahead right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I get up in the morning for. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how a grown man can wake up in the morning with no kind of ambition, no kind of goal in mind. I kill myself if I didn't have anything to work towards. So I gotta
Absolutely.
have something. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like that is extreme, but like, what do you get up? What's your purpose in the morning? Why are you doing something? So like, I got a goal. I'm always planning ahead. So it's like you gotta celebrate them small victories. I plan ahead and I just work backwards and I celebrate the little small victories as I'm getting to where I'm going. Because if you look at the long game and the longevity of what you're trying to achieve, it'll be discouraging. Because like, man, I got to. That's a lot I got to do from here now,
Hmm.
from now to then. But if you break it down to little increments and just celebrate the small victories, I mean, you'll look back like, man, I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at old pictures of myself, like, man, hey, that boy was working with no end goal in sight. Like with the end goal in sight, but it was no certainty. So he
Right.
was working like, and it paid off. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of that's what I tell him, man. You got to have something in mind. You got to have something that's gonna get you up in the morning.
Absolutely, got it. And I've been there, man. I've been in that position. I've been, and two of the things that you said that I can definitely relate to as far as waking up and really not feeling like I have a purpose, or just not sure where I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to do. And part of that was because I was stuck in the negative feelings that was going on. I was just laid off from my job unexpectedly, and I was just pissed off about that. And it was just a constant complaining about so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I believe I missed out on several things, and just keys that could have made me happier, enjoy times of my life that I should have, and things that I can't get back. But I also glad again because it's a learning lesson, right? And I start to see it now that like you said, when I found what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, what I found my passion, my ambition, something I want to drive towards. It's a whole different kind of mentality. You're driving. The journey becomes fun. You're just
Right.
loving to see what's going to happen and seeing what the next turn is going to take because, you know, celebrating the small victories too. Yeah, like and that's very key that we can't get caught up so much on the end goal that we forget to enjoy the process,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And celebrate those things because it's those small victories that we celebrate and those things that we acknowledge that give us the fuel to want to keep going a little bit more. Because if we stay focused on the end goal and we're not seeing like perfect example, right? People going to the gym, right? They go to the gym a week and they surprised they don't see a six pack and then they quit. Like it's gonna take time. You got to go out there and grind. You got to go out there and put in the work and the effort and struggle, um,
Mm-hmm.
and
You got to
understand
fall in
it.
love with the process. You got to enjoy the process. You got to find that. You got to enjoy that, the process of it. Because if you just want the results of everything, or you just like looking for the results and trying to like find happiness and just seeing results, you're gonna slack on that process. So you just got to enjoy the process and be disciplined and be consistent with your process and anything. And the end goal is just the icing on the cake. That's gonna come. That's a definite. When you fall in love with that process.
Yeah, I heard this quote recently that really resonated, man, and it goes perfectly right now. And it goes, the person who loves to run runs farther than the person who loves the destination. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And
I
it's
mean, that's the thing. I talk to the young guys like in the middle school. Would be like, if I told you how far you got to run right now, you're not gonna want to run now. But if you just started running, you know what I'm saying? If you had your music playing and you just running and with no end goal, like if you don't know, like, oh, I don't got to go a mile, and you just started running, probably run 2 miles. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's just how it is. I mean, your mind, you just gotta be mentally tough to just start something and get through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and then go
Yeah.
back. I know early in this conversation you were talking about the different influences in your life, like you said, your sisters, your moms, your coaches, and several of them, people out there in the community. Now, the one person I didn't hear was your father. Now, what was your relationship
Oh,
with your dad like?
me and my dad, cool, man. We solid. It just kind of more on a more emotional aspect of everything. It wasn't necessarily that with him. He didn't really have it with his father, so he didn't really know how to show me that. But I mean, everybody not perfect, and I've seen he made attempts at it, and I've seen what he's tried to do for me, and what he's done for me, and he's done a lot for me, and I love him to death. But I'm saying like when I was just kind of coming into my own and just trying to figure out who I wanted to be as a man, I'm just saying it was just kind of more so looking towards really my mother or my sister or like, I mean, I got some good friends around me that I like what he do. I'm gonna start doing that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with kind of following someone else until you become your own man. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't that coming up. So I just kind of followed the role models that I had, the leadership that I had. My sister was really smart. Um, she was really talented. So I got into that. Both of them were. So I just kind of walked in their footsteps. I got an older brother as well, and he taught me some things too, some good and bad. And it just like I said, you just gotta take it for what it's worth. I mean, and take the little traits that you see that you want to instill in yourself, and the ones that you don't. Not knocking the person that's that you're idolizing,
Right.
because that's just something that's not gonna help you get where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I just picked that up as I went along. I still do that to this day. When I'm finding certain traits or certain things about myself I want to change, I'm looking at the man who's doing it. It's like, oh, all right, I got to pray. I got a couple guys right now that I just friends of mine, that's my peer, the same age, that I look at like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like he doing some things all right, I got to ask him certain questions, but yeah.
Mm. No, definitely. And you said there's a couple things that you could take away from your dad. What do you think has been the biggest thing that you've learned out of your relationship with your father that you took from him?
My father just was a hard worker. He's a grinder. So that's kind of why I got that attitude from. He don't make no excuses. He's not going to ball you down with complaints and why this going on, why that going on. He's just going to come to you with solutions, and he's going to work hard. So that's kind of how I am. So like my mother kind of hates it a little bit because women sometimes they like to. Sometimes they just like to, speak about their emotions, just talk about their day, complain about whatever, just get off their chest. And then I always got an answer. I always got a solution for it. Oh, XYZ happened at work and my friend's doing this. Oh, well, you should just do that.
Right, right.
She just wanted to talk. She just wanted to get off her chest. She just wanted to talk for a while. I'm coming straight to solutions. And that's just, so I kind of got to work on that, with my mom and my sisters and just women, regardless, friends or whatever, like, because they sometimes just want to talk, just get off their chest. And I'm the type, oh, I need a solution right now. What's the problem? We can't talk about the problem all day. Like, what's the solution? So yeah. And I got that from my pops too.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. Just even earlier today, my wife was going through some things, and I'm trying to just do that, like find a solution, give an answer. Like, what if we do this, that, or whatever? And she's like, I don't need you to have the answer. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not asking you to have the answer, and nothing like that. Like, so don't feel guilty and all that stuff. I just need you to listen, and just to get off my chest. And I think that's just the thing that as men we've been trained in this society so much that we can't cry, don't show any emotions, don't feel this, don't feel that. And it has its pros and its cons, right? I think one of the things like that is that we're able to address problems, and we're just so focused on moving on those things. But on the other side too, a lot of times is that we suppress a lot of different emotions and feelings and things like that inside that start to eat at us over time because it's not really dealt with. And that's something that I think we need to slowly work better on being able to deal with that emotional aspect of that stuff. And again, it comes like from our dads and seeing that role model too. Like, just my dad too. He wasn't really, I didn't really see my dad showing really any emotions until I got older. As I was a kid growing up, he was just so stoic and just a hard worker, going out there grinding, no complaining, nothing like that, like trying to find problems and solutions, but not really addressing, if things made him upset or any of that things. But we're human,
yeah,
I mean, it happens, and sometimes we just got to vent too.
yeah. I'm still that's part of my development now. I'm still working on that. I'm not much of a I don't really discuss, like, I don't really express my emotions like that, especially to other people. But I may be in the car, I might get to yelling in the car, like, talking, or I talk to God about a lot about it. So that's probably a lot. Probably the only person I kind of like confide to, or like be emotional with it if I'm just talking to God. But other than that, I keep a smile and just make everybody think everything cool, because at the end of the day, man, I mean, I'm gonna find a way to make sure that everything's gonna be cool. So yeah, that's the main thing.
Right. No, definitely understand. And as we know, right, NFL safety, going through all that stuff, and as you said, you talked about your coaches and mentors and things. For beginning, man, let's start with this. What was it about football why you gravitated towards football?
Um, okay, so I guess when I was in high school, I always loved the game. I got around some solid friends that enjoyed the game as well, just love working out. So I was kind of doing it more so for the fun of being around them, and just kind of, because I just liked it. I wasn't. I mean, I could not have seen this far. Um, but it just opened, like, I allowed football to just like open up doors for me, as far as, like, I didn't know what I wanted to go to school to be. I didn't know I wanted to get like engineering degree or whatever. Um, but I knew football was gonna get me into school, so I could figure it out once I got to school. So I'll say, man, football just kind of molded me in that way, because I didn't really know my next step. It
Hmm.
always gave me time to figure out my next step. Even now, it gave me time to figure out my next step for life after football, because I'm in the real world after college, and got to make certain steps with my degree.
Right.
But football give me time to do that. So I think that's just my biggest thing. I mean, I just got around some guys that just love the game just like me, and just like to work hard. So I mean, that's why we got playing. That's why I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've interviewed a couple of guys into sports and did a lot of things, and I think sports plays such a huge role in kind of molding and giving you things to deal with in life, right? And kind of prepping you
Mm,
for the real world in different situations because there's a lot of adversity you got to face on the field and different things that you got to go through that can relate lots of real life experiences and having good coaches and all those things along the way. So if you had to look through your football career and think about that, man, who do you think has been the most influential coach you've had?
influential coach. Um, I had a couple, man. I had a couple. I mean, my high school coach was great. Coach Nelson, he was great. I had a Coach Stallion. My coach right there in Arizona, he was cool, man. Good guy, man. Tell it to you straight. Um, I had when I was at Savannah State, I had a coach. Man, I mean, I had a few. I can't just say like one or two coaches. I just had a few of them, and then just me being in different places. I was just learning, picking their brains. Just kind of just learning from each coach that I've been under. But I mean, I had a few coaches that I just enjoy. I just like when they tell it to me straight. That's my big thing. I just like it. So anybody just tell it to me straight, and let me figure out how I'm gonna deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of those type of like with my cousins and there's a lot of people when I sit down and people come to me asking for advice or my opinions and things like that is I never like to really sway anybody's opinion, right? I don't want to influence your judgment at all. My goal is
Mm-hmm.
to get you to think about all the different possibilities that could happen and really think about the consequences and all those things that come out and then allow you to make that decision. Give you whatever information I possibly can and put it in your hands like, well, this is the information you got now. What are you going to do with it? And how you're going to
Mm-hmm.
process that and implement it into your own life. I think that's just the best way to learn. Is by going through mistakes and learning things. It's great to learn from mistakes from others as well. But when you go through your own pain and your own trauma and your tribulations, it really forces you and molds you to grow in different ways. So
Right.
it needs to go through experience, and then also I think the other reason is that when you give somebody that option, you give them the information, allow them to make that own decision. They got to live with that consequence. Got to be nobody else. They can't blame it on anyone else but themselves. Like they decided to make that choice, and now they got to kind of face and deal with whatever the outcome is. And that's something that they need to learn as well. Being able to understand and accept your own choices, and your mistakes, and learning to live and grow from them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of always have that. Uh, nobody's gonna care as much as you care. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I can sit and cry about about a loss that I've taken or how I came up short in the area, and they'll sit there. I can talk to somebody till they blue in the face, till I'm blue in the face, and they'll console me and whatever for the whole time. But then once that conversation over, I still got to deal with that problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just there for support. So I feel like a lot of people, man, you just kind of like you got to go on your own too and just get your own, and just like work hard and get yours. And that's in whatever field, aspect, whatever career you choose. I feel like at the end of the day, man, the end goal of life, period, is just to make a solid life for you and your family, your future family, just whatever it takes to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? So I have some friends from Southern that damn sure could be playing in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? A couple of them just didn't get the opportunity. COVID hit that year. It affected me as well my first year in. So it was like, but you can't control that. And at the end of the day, they still got to make something for themselves. They still got to get out there and like just and make the best possible life for their situation, for their family and their future family. So that's what I'm always thinking about, regardless of football, whatever. Like I'm making the best. I'm setting up myself to make sure my future family is straight. You know what I'm saying? The future kid, the future wife, all that. So that's the thought when you go into a lot of this stuff. And I don't know if a lot of people think that way. I don't know if they're thinking about what the end goal, the future. Like at some point in time, you're gonna have that. And when I have that, I want everybody to be fine. I want everybody to be well off. I don't want people to be struggling. I'm not having kids, and I don't even have myself together. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
because my kids not gonna struggle. So people just don't think ahead a lot of like the consequences of certain of their actions, and you just gotta think ahead. You gotta just look ahead of what's to come.
No, definitely, absolutely, man. It was good to plan your future, and because as we know, sorry, just tomorrow's never promised, and I'm just getting a little choked up because I just had a recent death in the family, and
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
yeah, thank you, and it just is there's weighing in my head too. We don't know what tomorrow's gonna hold for us. We can't
Mhm.
push things off. We can't wait. We can't think that it's gonna get better overnight. We gotta take action. We gotta, like you said, plan ahead and take action and do what we have to do to make things happen for us because we never know. This is a cool, like I said too, because everybody's gonna have a last day. We just don't know when that is. And that's the scary part. So we gotta do the most that we can up until that point. But on that note too, and like I said, just football. I know like a lot of things and a lot of people who especially a lot of kids who don't have their dads in their lives or grow up that way, turn to sports and they have their coaches and their father figures that kind of teach them about life and what's going on. For you, what do you think has been one of the biggest things you learned from football? Looks like I might have lost some everybody. Give me a moment. I'm gonna close this out and restart, and I'll be back in a second. Let me see if he. Yeah, let me close this out and I'll restart because it's not letting me let him back in. So there we go.
My bad. My mama called. Mama called. Uh, she ain't taking the. Can I call you later?
Yeah, yeah,
Take
yeah.
the call. She's not taking that. So just had to tell her, hold on, my mama call you right back. She's gonna keep calling until I tell her something.
Nah, nah, all right, no, definitely, man. I appreciate that. I understand. Uh, so I was just saying that there just too. Like I know, like a lot of kids who don't have their dads or male role models, and like they join to a lot of sports, and they have their coaches and things like that to rely on them and teach them about things about life. For you, what do
Hmm.
you think is some of the things that you that football has taught you about life, or that you can apply into your life?
Um, Never. Don't get too high with the highs. Don't get too low with the lows. I can stay real mellow, real mellow. I enjoy life though. I enjoy my time. I enjoy what's going on. But like, uh, just always be like I told you. Just expect. Be prepared for setbacks. Be prepared for failure. Just keep a level head. I think that's the biggest thing because I mean, when you're in the game, you're in a pressure situation, or it's a lot going on, or the game's on the line, or you was just up by 21 and you think you're about to win this game, and they done came back, and it's a lot of pressure, and the game's about to flip, and you about to blow a lead or something, just all that. But it's just like just can't get too high with the highs, can't get too low with the lows, and just got to keep a level head, like I said. And it just always taught me just to work hard. 'Cause like I told you, just everything correlates, and for me, and I tell a lot of people that, and if anybody here listens to it, they're like, man, he said that all the time. Because I mean, it just everything. I go to my locker clean, keep my locker a certain way. My room, wake up, keep that a certain way. My bed, made. My car, keep that a certain way. It just little things like my appearance. You know what I'm saying? Getting a haircut, everything's just little things like that. As a man, I feel like you should do to keep up with yourself, to keep your self image, to keep your confidence, and then just to also just to present yourself in a certain type of way, in a certain type of light, and then taking care of all your small things, and so you're handling all your business, elsewhere. Um, so that's just me. I mean, I'm just consistent. I mean, I like to keep things in an organized, orderly fashion. Just make sure I take care of all my business. So, and I think football taught me that. And as I was learning that off the field, I brought it into football even more as far as just saying, because they're not, you got to be on time, you got to take notes, you got to do, and it's like you can't just flip a switch. I'm gonna be this great athlete. I'm gonna be attentive. I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna watch this film. I'm gonna make the best for myself on the film on the field, and then come back to your house and your house ain't in order. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to class and all that's not in order. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best student. I wasn't the best student, but I just always took care of business. I feel like so. I mean, that's just what I say from football to real life, whatever. Just being someone that handles their business.
Absolutely. I think when you said that too, just about keeping a level head and not taking the highs with the highs and stuff, it just brought me back to that interview when they were interviewing Kobe and they just went up 2-0 in the series. And he's like, "You're not happy?" And he's like, "What for? Like, job's not finished." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. And then that was key. You got to stay focused, right? Because again, it could, as we seen, that could quickly turn around.
But
Teams come back and just do surprising because you get too comfortable, and then you're not being as effective as you should be and know what you got to do, and that's where mistakes happen. So I think that's very, very important for everybody to understand too. Just keep a level head. I'm one too that I I do my best and did a lot over these last couple of years to really understand and master my emotions, so that you don't react spontaneously to certain things or let them consume you. Because again, the first reaction may not always be the best reaction.
right,
And you just got to take a moment, see how it is, and don't let your feelings consume you or let anybody else control your feelings or let you feel a certain way, because the moment somebody else can manipulate your feelings, they own you. That's how I feel it, right? They own you. They got this power over you that you ain't gonna get back until you learn how to master your feelings. So I think that's key, like you said, is really keeping a level head, being able to maintain, and also being consistent. Again, that's what I'm getting a lot from you, and I think it is just so important as you see how consistency affects and impacts every single aspect of your life. If you do that full circle all around on stuff, then you said you can keep making those little victories that's going to achieve, and get you to that big win for you. So, yeah, as we wind it down here for you, man, D-Rutt, I got two more questions for you before I let you go.
right.
First thing is, right, after everything that you've learned in school, football, just your life experience and all those things, what do you think has been the best advice you received from anybody during that time?
That's advice I received. I think I might have already given you that advice. Just as far as just saying taking care of the small details, paying attention to the small detail. And like nobody gave me this advice, but I give this advice all the time. It's like I said, find that goal, find that end goal, when they say, I don't know, shoot for the stars, land on the moon, whatever they
Yeah, I
call
would
it.
say that shoot for the moon, and if you fall short, you land amongst the stars.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, basically that. But I just always find that end goal and work your way backwards. You know what I'm saying? Write it down. Write it down. Write them steps down. Write everything down that you want to do, what you want to achieve, where you want to be at in life. You know what I'm saying? And shoot for that goal. And like I said, you just got to break it down into small increments and steps and celebrate the small steps, because that end goal was far. That end goal was tough. And I mean, from everything I've been through, I had to sit down and like shed a tear one time, really twice, off of what I've done and how far I've came and like what I've had to go through. I had to just reflect on everything I did, because I deserved that. I deserved that time to sit and reflect because of everything I did. You know what I'm saying? How far I've came, and how easily it could have went left. So that's what I say, man. Just find that end goal, work hard toward that end goal. Write your steps down and celebrate your victories, because that'll motivate you to continue to go. Reach that next goal and that next goal and that next step and whatever it is. And just as you do that, you're gonna sit down one day, you're gonna look back like, man, like this is where I'm at. This how far I came. Like, that's crazy. And I still be like, man, that's crazy how far I came. And I enjoy it for a second, but I got another 3-year goal in mind right now that I'm working towards. So yeah.
No, I can totally relate and understand that, and I think I started to like understand more. As you see like people winning the Super Bowl, winning these championships and these teams, and how emotional they get and they're crying, and a lot of times people ridicule guys for crying, or like it's just a game, and saying all these things like that, and the
Oh,
the biggest thing I come to realize, like I was going to school, right? I started going to college. I wanted to go to school, show my kids that they can do it and all this stuff. And it was like 3 years, man, just going in there, going to school, these things, and so many things is happening, and failing classes, going into depression, having anxiety attacks, nearly failing a couple classes, all these things, the ups and downs, like all this stuff. And then I remember, and it's something that I'll feel that I'll never forget, when I went to go fill out all the paperwork for graduation, and they gave me all the stuff in a ceremony. I remember getting back to my car, and I could not stop crying, man. Just all this
Right.
emotion, all this stuff. Like, I was just so proud and just like, oh my God, like it was just a wave of uncontrollable emotion because of
Right.
everything that you had to put in, and nobody sees your journey, right? Nobody knows what you're doing in the background. Nobody can say anything to you once you achieve your goal or whatever feelings you got to feel.
Right. Right.
But you got to go through those things. You got to understand the journey. You got to love the process. And when you get to that end goal, like you were saying, man, it's just a feeling of that it's indescribable.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. And you just got to sit and reflect. I had to reflect on 5 years of planning. I had to sit back and reflect on. I forgot some steps. I look back through my picture, and I'm like, man, I forgot that. I forgot I went through that. I forgot I did that. But I mean, yeah, and that's because I broke it down into certain steps for myself that I was just achieving the goals. I mean, I didn't even go to my college graduation because I was making my next step into grad school. So I mean, and it's just all about the proper planning when you want to make when you want to achieve certain goals and you want to make that next step. And just anything you want to character development. If you're trying to be a better man, be a better person, be a better whatever, achieve something in your career, in your life. I mean, I look at certain things that I feel like every day that that I feel like, man, I want to be this type of guy. I want to work hard to be this type of guy. I try to build a routine and just be consistent and being that guy, and I mean, as long as you think it, like if I think, all right, I'm this guy, I'm gonna do this, I'm prepare myself like this, you'll become it. You'll become it. So that's just why I be telling a lot of guys. I mean, I got a friend right now, like like my little brother, and I just kind of tell him little things like, hey man, make up your bed and put your clothes up, and it don't be dirty. Hey, get a haircut. We about to go get a haircut. Come on, let's go get a haircut. I take care of whatever. It's just building that little, attention to detail and just taking care of yourself. You're gonna be like, oh man, I look good. I want my car to look good. Okay, well, yeah, my car look good. I want my room to look good. Okay, everything's taken care of. Now you just building the habits of just taking care of your business. And now it's just like, man, okay, that's who you are now. And you just build that habit, so and people just see that, and that I mean, that aura just rubs off on the next person.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's just the big thing. You just start off with them small details, man. Them small details, and people don't pay that much attention, but that's them small details that I mean. I tell you, as soon as I go to a woman's spot, I'm going straight in their bathroom, and that's gonna tell me everything I want to know. I can look at the front lifting, you know what I'm saying, and the I can look at your appearance, and I can tell like, okay, she don't take much time to take care of herself. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
know they just tell you, tell you everything you got to tell you everything you got to know, man. Tell you everything you got to know. I tell my boy, first thing I look at when I see a woman is her hair and her feet, and I tell you everything you got to know. Tell you everything you need to know. Go in their bathroom, that's it. But I'll tell you, man, if you just be vigilant, man, it's a lot. It's a lot you can pick up.
No,
It's a
absolutely,
lot.
man. Being vigilant, keeping your eyes open, really reading the signs, and keeping an open mind will definitely take you a long way. And so, thank you, D-Rutt, for all your information, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me and having this conversation. As you said, a couple key things that I take away from your conversation is really consistency, one of them, and like you said, just taking all the small steps to really take care of yourself. And that's another big thing that I think we need to focus on. Is that, like you said, taking care of yourself, get a haircut, do the things that make you feel good and make you look right and get you in that right state of mind, because you are what you think you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you just have to treat yourself. So if you don't treat yourself right, then you're not going to be right in any different way in your life, and it's going to show, like you said, that to the people around you. And to quote one of my mentors, June Archerman, that's your brand. You got to make sure you represent your brand properly, your name, your appearance, everything like that, because you represent so many different people. So you want to make sure that you always come in correct. So,
Right.
again, thank you for all the information that you provided tonight, man. It was an honor talking to you, man. I wish you the best of luck, man. I hope to talk to you soon again. All right, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. Just hit me. We can do this again sometime.
Absolutely, man. So everybody, like I always say, man, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, your big brother loves you. Stay blessed, everybody.